Good afternoon. This is Dr. Dilip Sarkar from United States of America. I'm a retired vascular surgeon, now an integrative physician, a certified yoga therapist, and a certified Ayurvedic yoga therapist, teaching primarily how to integrate yoga therapy to Western medicine through a continuing medical education, primary to the physician and the healthcare providers. I'm also the founding member of GCYT, Global Consortium of Yoga Therapists, and we are celebrating International Day of Yoga, which is June 21st, the longest day of the year, summer solstice. I'm going to share with you a little bit history of this International Day of Yoga, which most of the people probably don't know. We as a yoga and yoga therapy teachers, practitioners, we all know that this day was first announced by the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, during his speech to the United Nations General Assembly on September 27, 2014. He wanted to have a day called International Day of Yoga, and he announced the day to be June 21st as the longest day. And there is also a few criteria of the day, because the day the sun is very close to the earth. Our northern hemisphere is close to the sun, and the sun always in the top, and our shadow on the day does not move at all. Very interesting. Sthiram, sukham, asanam. We became very sthir on that day. Subsequently, on October 14th of the same year, 2014, there was an informal discussion on the United Nations General Assembly about the draft resolution for the day to be International Day of Yoga. And finally, on December 11, 2014, the permanent representative of India in the United Nations brought this article on the United Nations General Assembly, the June 21st to International Day of Yoga, and out of 193 countries, 177 countries approved, and the day was approved without even any voting. So after the day was announced by United Nations, the first International Day of Yoga was observed on June 21st, 2015. It was primarily arranged by the Ministry of Ayush of India. Ayush is the traditional system of healing, which stands for Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddhi, and Homeopathy. The Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, he did a yoga class on the open air on the called Rajpath in New Delhi, which was attended by 35,000 people from almost 84 countries. This is the largest yoga class ever conducted in this world. Subsequently to that, every year by the Ministry of Ayush and the Embassy of India in different countries throughout the whole world, they're celebrating International Day of Yoga in various forms. But now I just want to mention a few things that United Nations does not take a day from a word from a prime minister and just to be implemented within a few months. There's a lot of underlying work was going on. So historically, when you look back, it was in Portugal, the Portuguese Yoga Federation, which was established by our Jagat Guru, Swami Surya Amritanand, he declared the day as a World Yoga Day on June 21st in 2001. And subsequently, in June 21st, 2002, he had the first conference where he invited the yoga masters from all over the world. And then he continued every year as a World Yoga Day, as a June 21st. I was invited as a guest speaker twice in 2012 and 2013. I gave 2 talks. One was yoga therapy from research to treatment. Another was yoga therapy for hypertension and cardiac problems. He has introduced the day to almost all yoga masters of the world because he has invited most of them. Finally, in December 4th and 5th of 2011, in Bengaluru, India, the Indian Yoga Grandmasters met and they have declared the June 21st as a World Yoga Day. The meeting was attended by B.K.S. Iyengar, our H.N. Nagendra. We have Sri Sri Ravi Shankar of Art of Living, Swami Ramdev from Patanjali Yogpith. We had the Jagat Guru, Swami Surya Amritanand from Portuguese Yoga Federation, Subodh Tiwari. And after their declaration, this was slowly brought up to the Prime Minister of India, to Narendra Modi, who subsequently presented the day to the United Nations to establish an International Day of Yoga. There's a lot more history behind it, but for the shortage of time, I'm going to stop here. And please, please celebrate this day wherever you are, which country you are, and whatever form you can do. Thank you again for letting me participate in this International Day of Yoga through the Global Consortium of Yoga Therapists.